I can share my screen. Okay. नारायण ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय ओम नमो भगवते वासुदेवाय नारायणं नमस्कृत्य नरं चैव नरोत्तमं देवीं सरस्वतीं व्यासं ततो जयमुदीरयेत् शृण्वतां स्वकथा कृष्ण पुण्यश्रवणकीर्तन हृदयन्तोऽस्ति अभद्राणि विदुनोति सहस्रतम् नष्टप्रायेषु अभद्रेषु नित्यं भागवत सेवया भगवती उत्तम श्लोके भक्तिर्भवति नैष्टिकी. Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, Canto 4, Chapter 1, verses 4 and 5. Verse 4. Yastayo purusha shakshad vishnuryagyya swarupadrak yastri sadakshina bhuter amsa bhutana paini. Synonym. Yah, one who, tayo, out of them, Purusha, male, Sakshat, directly, Vishnu, the Supreme Lord, Yagya, Swarupadrak, accepting the form, Ya, the other, Stri, female, Sa, she, Dakshina, Bhute, of the goddesses of fortune, Amsa Bhuta, being a planetary expansion, Annapayini, never to be separated. Translation and purport by His Divine Grace A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Prabhupada, Srila Prabhupada ki Jai. Of the two children born of Akuti, the male child was directly an incarnation of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and his name was Yagya, which is another name of Lord Vishnu. The female child was a partial incarnation of Lakshmi, the goddesses of fortune, the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Purport. Lakshmi, the goddesses of fortune, is the eternal consort of Lord Vishnu. Here it is stated that both the Lord and Lakshmi, who are eternal consorts, appeared from Akuti simultaneously. Both the Lord and his consort are beyond this material creation, as confirmed by many authorities. Narayana Paro Vyakyat. Therefore, their eternal relationship cannot be changed. And Yagya, the boy born of Akuti, later married the goddesses of fortune. Next verse, 5. Aninya swagram putram vitatarocisam swayambhuvo muda yukto ruchir jagra dakshinam. Synonym, aninya, brought to, swagraham, home, putraya, born of the daughter, putram, the son, vitatarocisam, very powerful, swayambhuva, the Manu named Swayambhuva, mudha, being very pleased, yukta, with Ruchihi, the great sage Ruchi, Jagraha, kept, Dakshinam, the daughter named Dakshina. Translation. Swayambhuva Manu very gladly brought home the beautiful boy named Yagya, and Ruchi, his son-in-law, kept with him the daughter Dakshina. Purport. Swayambhuva Manu was very glad to see that his daughter Akuti had given birth to a boy and a girl. He was afraid that he would take one son and that because of this, his son-in-law, Ruchi, might be sorry. Thus, when he heard that a daughter was born along with the boy, he was very glad. Ruchi, according to his promise, returned his male child to Swayambhuva Manu and decided to keep the daughter, whose name was Dakshina. One of Lord Vishnu's name is Yagya, because he is the master of the Vedas. The name Yagya comes from Yajusampati, which means Lord of all sacrifices. In the Yajur Veda, there are different ritualistic prescriptions for performing yagyas, and the beneficiary of all such yagyas is the Supreme Lord Vishnu. Therefore, it is stated in Bhagavad Gita 3.9, Yagyartha karmana. One should act, but one should perform one's prescribed duties only for the sake of Yagya or Vishnu. If one does not act for the satisfaction of the Supreme Personality of Godhead, or if one does not perform devotional service, then there will be reactions to one's activities. It does not matter if the reaction is good or bad. If our activities are not dovetailed with the desire of the Supreme Lord, or if we do not act in Krishna consciousness, then we shall be responsible for the results of our activities. There is always a reaction to every kind of action. But if actions are performed for yajna, there is no reaction. Thus, if one acts for yajna or the Supreme Personality of Godhead, one is not entangled in the material condition. For it is mentioned in the Vedas and also in Bhagavad Gita that the Vedas are the way and the Vedic rituals are all meant for understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. From the very beginning, one should try to act in Krishna consciousness. That will free one from the reaction of material activities. Om Ajnanatimirandasya Jnananjana Shalakaya Chakshurunmilitam Yena Tasmai Shri Guruve Namaha. Shri Chaitanya Manobishtam Stapitam Yena Bhutale Swayam Rupa Kadamayam Dadati Swapadantikam. Nama Om Vishnupadaya Krishna Prastaya Bhutale Srimate Bhakti Vedanta Swami Niti Namine. Namaste Saraswati Deve Gauravani Pracharine Nirvishesha Shunyavadi Pashyatya Deshatarine. Jai Shri Krishna Chaitanya Prabhu Nityananda Shri Advaita Gadadhara Shivasadi Gaura Bhakta Vrinda. Hare Krishna 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 Hare Hare. Hare Rama 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 Hare Hare. I humbly bow down to all the assembled devotees. Thank you so much for giving me this opportunity to read from Srimad Bhagavatam this morning. And again, this is for my own purification that I can do these verses. So we are in Canto 4 right now, and we are really looking at the lineage, right, of Swayambhuva Manu. That's where we are. So earlier in verse 3, we had seen that it was talked about the dharma, right, Putri dharma, where Swayambhuva Manu had said that once Akuti gets married and she has a son, then Swayambhuva Manu was going to have the son back, right? And because they did not have a son, we saw that already in verse 3. So now here what happens is, like in verse 4, it is explained that actually 2 children are born. Yagya, that's really Supreme Personality of Godhead, and the consort Lakshmi comes in the form of the female child. So in this verse, really the main point that stood out was that how Swayambhuva Manu is also so compassionate, right? So he did ask. So see, when he asked for the son, we have to understand where they are coming from, right? It is not like us, we always are coming from the materialistic standpoint of view or something, we are asking for something. It is like for our own selfish desires. But here we have to understand that when Swayambhuva Manu is asking for the son, it is because the lineage has to continue, the full, the mankind, the further has to continue with that. And again, that main focus of Swayambhuva Manu, because he is a devotee of the Lord, is that it is in service of the Lord. He wants to really serve the Supreme Personality of Godhead. And that's the reason that he had asked for the son, right? So, and he knew that this was going to be Supreme Personality of Godhead, and he wanted to serve the Lord. So we have to understand the reason behind it. And also how it is clearly explained that he was, although he had asked, but he was little conscious, right? Now that I'm going to just take the son away from him. But when he had the son and the daughter, he felt much better, because now, although he's taking yajna with him, but they still have the daughter, right? So they don't have to feel completely bad and like, look, I have one son and I just gave to my father-in-law. Ruchi should not be feeling like that. So that's like the small point. Again, we would not just understand that, right? Just reading by the verse or the translation, but Srila Prabhupada is explaining that to us so we can understand the devotee's mood. So like Srila Prabhupada is going into how Swayambhuva Manu is feeling right now, right? And he's explaining that that's the feeling. So that's the first point I kind of, realized by reading this translation. The second important point that has been given here is for us to understand that yajna is Supreme Personality of Godhead, and everything that we do, everything is being offered to the Lord. He is the Lord of all sacrifices. And we know the verse 529, right? Bhoktaram yagya tapasam sarvaloka maheshwaram sughrudam sarvabhutanam gyatva mam shantim rachyati. We have to understand that ultimately the Lord is the enjoyer of all the sacrifices. Everything we do, we may not understand that, right? Because of our ignorance, we may not understand that. But it is the real fact. Just because we don't understand that doesn't change the reality. So everything that we do is really ultimately for the pleasure of the Lord. So then, as devotees, as we are reading all these verses and understanding all of this, it really behooves us that we now consciously make an effort, take our consciousness where we are now consciously offering everything to the Lord. And here I also want to bring our attention to the verses from chapter 9 in Bhagavad Gita, right? So first, remember how Krishna says, Patram Pushpam Phalam Toyam Yome Bhakta Prayashati, so he says that you can just offer me a fruit, a flower, a leaf, water, and I'm okay with it, right? That's all basic, but that the essence is love. Offer me with love, and I'll accept it. So Krishna had already given those verses in chapter 9, but following that verse, he says, the next verse he says is, Yat koroshi yat yajnasi yat juhosi dadasi yat tapasyasi kaunteya tat kurusva madarpanam. So then after the flower, the fruit and all that, next he says, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you offer or give away, and whatever austerities you perform, do that, O son of Kunti, as an offering to me. So again, we have to understand that this again is the platform of Nishkam Karma Yoga, okay, where we are not there. So it's okay. So the pure devotional stage is that it doesn't matter what the results are, what the offering is, it doesn't matter anything anymore. If that is the highest pure devotional stage, okay? So where there is no pre and post and this and that and everything. There's nothing, because the devotee's life is completely surrendered to the Lord. Every breath the devotee takes, every moment he does anything, his body is not even material body anymore. It is a spiritual body. Everything that the devotee does is pure, completely in relationship with the Lord. His life is fully surrendered to the Lord. But we are not there yet, right? So what does Krishna offer before that is this verse, where now he's saying, okay, I understand you're not there. I understand you cannot do everything for me. So guess what? Now, whatever you do, whatever you eat, whatever you give away, do everything as a service to me. All these austerities you're performing, do is as a offering to me. So then taking these baby steps, then we are going to get to the pure devotional service. And what is pure devotional service? Completely anyabhilashita shunyam jnana karmadi anavritam anukulena Krishna anushilanam bhakti uttama. That pure devotional service where I don't have any other motives. I am not doing this just for my own satisfaction. I am not doing this because I want some attention, or I want some prestige, or I want some position, or I want this and that. None of that. I don't even want liberation anymore, right? All I'm focusing is that I just want pure devotional service, the love of Godhead. That's all I want. So I'm not there yet. And then this is what I'm going to do today, right? I'm going to work Monday through Friday. I have my job. I earn some money. I'm able to cook for the Lord. So everything, whatever I can do, my weekends, I'm able to give to Krishna, right? Weekdays are busy. All throughout the week is busy. But in the mornings, I'm able to do things. In the evenings, I'm able to do things. So wherever I can able to do things, I'm able to insert those things in there. And then eventually, gradually, Krishna is going to make arrangements where then I'm able to completely surrender myself to the Lord. And then it's like 24/7, right? Every breath you take, every move you make, that song, I'm just remembering of that. But it's like everything is for the Lord, everything completely for the Lord. So this is really nice, inspirational verses here, right? The 4 and 5 that we just went through. Let me go back here again and see what else is there. Yeah, that's the key factor, really. Everything that we do, here the instruction for us is that remembering that everything is belonging to Yajna and then offering everything to the Lord. And as we continue, as we are in our current state right now, continuing to serve the devotees. And also we have to remember the motivation, right? The more and more we are doing this chanting, the more and more we are doing that, it is really clearing us too. The anarthas, as we read this morning, the anarthas are going to dissipate, and slowly, like as the sun comes, the fog dissipates. Similarly, with the chanting of the holy name, with the all these devotional activities, every time we associate with the sannyasis or senior Vaishnavas, the pure devotees of the Lord, more and more it is going to help us clear all these anarthas. And then slowly we are going to get their understanding again that Krishna is in the center and Krishna is the Supreme Personality of Godhead, and I'm here just a mere servant, try to do whatever I can to please the Supreme Personality of Godhead. So with that, I would like to end. Thank you so much again for giving me your time and attention to listen this morning. Vancha kalpatarubhyascha kripa sindhubhya eva cha